Hello and welcome to Evansville Podcast. My name is Jason. Thank you for listening. On today's episode, we're going to be talking with Brian Buxton about Evansville Restaurant Week, the 2017 version. This is the second year of that Evansville Restaurant Week has been in existence. So we talk about the changes from last year and what the lessons learned and the new format they have for this year. But before we get into that, I wanted to let you know that this Friday night, first Friday at Haney's Corner, we are doing a live podcast network recording. Josh Petrowski, a.k.a. Big Cat, Laura Burton, Corey Edwards, and I will be out there in front of Sauced across the street from the fountain at Haney's Corner. We will be recording with special guests as we are... nothing announced quite yet, but watch, there's a Facebook page for the event, and we will be announcing some of the guests shortly. So, come out and see us. Say hi to us. Who knows? We may even throw you on the mic for a little bit. If nothing else, walk by and see what kind of train wreck we have. It'll be something. But yeah, come out and say hi to us, and then shortly thereafter, we hope to get that episode out. So be on the lookout for that. This week's a lot of stuff's going on. Pizza Quest finale is recording, all that fun stuff. So be on the lookout. Keep your eyes peeled. We've got a lot of things going on. So on to the show. Mr. Brian Buxton, welcome back.
Hello.
To Evansville Podcast.
I had to put my radio voice on.
First time, long time? No way. What is this, third, fourth time? Something like that?
Yeah, this is probably my fourth, actually, maybe.
Okay.
So
you're getting up there.
I'm sure all my episodes are the four least popular that you've done.
Well, let's not talk about that. Maybe this one will be different. No. You're here to talk about the second annual Evansville Restaurant Week.
Absolutely.
So, it's funny how whenever, like, when I do these... this is like the fourth year I've done the podcast, so on my Facebook feed I'll see the memories, and it's like, oh yeah, I talked about that last year right around this time, and then actually
pops up because I was going to say, because on my on this day or whatever on Facebook, we were recording a podcast. I was like, this is kind of cool. All right, we're doing it again.
I guess we probably should do that.
Yeah, that works.
So yeah, Evansville Restaurant Week. Huge success last year.
It was, and we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, we as it progressed towards the event, more tickets started selling, and people get nervous sometimes because some of the other stuff I'm involved in, they're like, oh my God, we've only sold half the tickets, and then they literally sell the other half of the tickets in 3 days. But people tend to wait for some reason.
It's an Evansville, weird Evansville thing. So
it's like... Well, and then they get in trouble because, like we were just talking about before off mic, people want to go to a concert, and then they're like, oh, the tickets are sold out. Well, heck yeah, it's 2 days before the show. What do you expect? Yeah. You should have bought them back in three months ago when you knew they were coming to town.
We are progressing as a people.
Yeah. So, and that's exactly what we're talking about, having to make reservations on weekends for restaurants here now and stuff like that. But so, we didn't really know what to expect. We just kind of went into it and hoped for dumb luck, but because people didn't really understand it, and still there's some people who are like, well, what is it? And I don't, they didn't really get what it was about. And that's one of the things that I always wanted to, and I even put a post online about it. But I always wanted people to understand is Restaurant Week has a very specific purpose that's different from what we're doing to celebrate the beginning of it, which is the VIP dinner at Walton's. Yeah. So, I'll probably just talk about that a little bit, I guess.
Sure,
but, basically, this is the second year that we've done it at Walton's, and it'll be the last. We're going to do something different next year.
Okay.
But it sort of worked because he's got the infrastructure set up. I mean, it's a functioning restaurant. The tables are there.
Right.
The kitchen is a show kitchen, so you can actually watch the chefs prepare the food, watch it being plated.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And people, that was one of the things that we really liked. Or that people really liked about that was it was sort of involved in the process and, watching everything happen. So Restaurant Week, it was started in New York, I think back in the early 80s, and there's pretty much every major city anymore has a Restaurant Week. Indianapolis has one, Louisville, Nashville, San Francisco, New York, Chicago, obviously. Miami's got one, but basically we wanted to model Evansville's Restaurant Week after those.
Sure.
And like I said, to celebrate the start of it is the VIP dinner. And so what the VIP dinner is, we have 7 chefs from this year. We've got 25 restaurants participating in Restaurant Week. 7 of them have chefs that are cooking at Walton. So there's going to be a 7-course dinner prepared, each course prepared by a different chef that brings their own little, flair and their own expertise into it. So you're going to get a variety of dishes. And we have 2 charities this year, which is the Evansville Christian Life Center and It Takes a Village No-Kill Canine Rescue that are going to benefit from the dinner. So basically we sell tickets. You come, sit down, have a 7-course meal from appetizers to dessert, and there's wine, there's beer. Carson's Brewery is one of the sponsors this year, so there's going to be Carson's beer available, and obviously open bar, at Walton's. We're not open bar free, but open where you can have any cash bar where you can have whatever they have available with wine and beer and whatnot. So the opening night dinner is the 10th of September.
Okay.
And I think it's 6 to 9.
Got it.
I probably should know that, but I think it's 6 to 9, but it's online.
Let's say all details. Double check.
EvansvilleRestaurantWeek.com, or it's on Facebook, and there's a page for it that you can check out. And for people that don't understand it too, the nice thing about this being the second year is I even told some of the restaurants when we were going out, asking them to participate, I said, hey, go to the Facebook page. There is an entire photo album of the menus that the restaurants did, so you can get an idea of what they did last year. And there's tons of photos from the event that night, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like and kind of feel like and how things happen. So that's kind of the nice thing about being the second year, is that we have something to fall back on and say, hey, this is the way it happened. This is, go check the pictures out, and there's pictures of the dishes and everything else, and you can get an idea. And right now we actually, I think the tickets were, what were tickets last year? $125 a person, I think.
I'm not sure.
This year we started a couple weeks ago just to get some excitement going and some early bird sales. We did $75 a person, and I think that ends Friday. So this is probably not going to come out by then.
Sorry,
should
have got it.
But we'll bump it to $95 after that, and then I think the week before they go back to regular pricing maybe. Yeah. So it behooves people to buy early,
and there's only a limited amount.
Yes. So we had last year, I think we had 130 people. And basically just for the ease of infrastructure and the availability of silverware and plates and things like that, and just to make it easy for the servers and for, to ensure that everybody gets a good experience and good service, we're going to limit it to 150.
Okay.
But I think we'll probably have between 130 and 140 maybe, this year, because there's a lot of people that came that said, oh yeah, we can't wait, we loved it, whatnot, and hey, the tickets are cheaper right now. And actually the $95 will probably still be, depending on when this comes out, it'll still be valid, so that you're still going to save quite a bit over the regular prices from last year. Oh, one thing too that I wanted to mention, this year it is going to be a 2-week event if the restaurants choose, and here's why. And I think we probably talked about this last year too, but last year we had 18 restaurants, and so some are closed Sunday, some are closed Monday, and so basically you have 7 days, and if someone went out to eat every day for lunch at a different restaurant and every night for dinner, you're only going to hit 14 restaurants.
Right.
So in order to give people the chance to get the sales and the exposure and whatnot, we decided with 25 restaurants this year that we're going to allow them, if they want to participate for another week. Okay. So some restaurants are going to have their menus for 2 weeks, and all this will be online. I'm still getting menus from people and things like that, but it'll be online, at least a couple of weeks before the event, and we'll differentiate who's offering for 2 weeks and who's offering for 1. But so many of the restaurants, they said we sold out or got within 1 dish of selling out every single night. And I know Kavanaugh's, they unfortunately aren't participating this year because they've got so much going on with the casino opening.
Oh, right.
That they just said it's too much, and but they are going to be back next year is what they've told us. But it's just they sold. The point with Kavanaugh's that I was trying to make. Kavanaugh's, they went through, I think they said 7 prime ribs in one night just for the restaurant week menu. I mean, and that's like a couple of hundred, I think they said 260 orders for restaurant week menus. And a lot of it was for prime rib, and they went through a ton of prime rib.
Wow.
But we mentioned them charities, Evansville Christian Life Center and It Takes a Village, No Kill Canine Rescue. You know what? Well, I mean, do you have any questions? Anything we should tell somebody that doesn't know what we're talking about?
Like, so maybe we could talk a little bit about what to expect from these places. These are like special items, maybe potentially special items on the menu for these restaurants that they may not normally carry.
Yes, absolutely.
Or rarely carry, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we encourage them to do things that they've never done.
Right.
And okay, so that would lead into, since we explained, the VIP dinner, basically restaurant week, we modeled it after, some of the others that happen in the country that are held different parts of the year. Sometimes it's October, sometimes it's in the spring. But originally in New York, it happened in, I believe, the fall, because that was traditionally a slow time for restaurants. So they came up with this thing, said, hey, let's do price fixed menus. Let's do special items at the places that people like to eat at, and bring some business in. Well, then it just turned into, hey, we want to showcase what our kitchen can do and our chef and, whatnot. And it's just basically a celebration of local restaurants, local businesses, and, and the chefs and the culinary talent that exist in our city. So that's really the thing. And we don't, we've got sponsors for Restaurant Week, but we don't force or even ask the restaurants to give any money to charities or anything else. They keep 100% of what they make. And literally the goal is just to champion our local restaurants and to help them increase their business and, realize more profits and, get more people exposed to what they, offer. So it's really just about the small businesses and, bringing them some business and some exposure. And, we did a taste, Gretchen Nyers and I, we do Taste Tuesdays on occasion together. Yeah. And we went to DeLagui's, because DeLagui's is one of the ones that is participating this year that I was really wanting last year. And after the week started, I went to school with Garrick, the bartender that's down there, and his wife, he said, told him halfway through the week, she's like, we should have done that. And I was like, man, I was trying to get you guys to do it for a month, but we in the Taste Tuesday video specifically talked about, hey, there's construction, it's hard to get to, but here's how you do it. Don't forget them for lunch and dinner. Right. Yeah. And, so I mean, literally, and I'm a small business owner, and, I'll do another podcast with you, coming up, but I've been doing it over 20 years, just working for myself and, having businesses locally and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm kind of endeared to the idea of people knowing who you are in town, and and so we want to help everybody. And that's really just the entire point, is just to champion our local restaurants, local chefs, local business owners, and, the sponsors. We want to help them and, get some exposure for them. And see, that's one thing too, as I've talked about it, is I always enjoy, when I go to dinner, I like to know who's in the kitchen. Right. And not because I want to make sure they're not, sticking their finger in my soup or anything like that. But it's just interesting, because I like to have them come out and talk and tell me, hey, what's the the idea behind the dish? Where did this ingredients, come from, and why do you do it this way? And it's just really interesting to know who your chef is and say hi and shake their hand and, have them come out and talk about, what you're eating and where they sourced it. And, oh yeah, this is just, this is some new beef that we just got in that's farm raised, grass fed, whatnot. And I just like that. So that's kind of the thing too, is to bring the chefs, because they're hidden so often, and people walk in and they sit down and there's a piece of paper in front of them and they just literally pick whatever they want off that piece of paper, and somebody magically brings it through a door and puts it on the table, a few minutes later.
It's pretty amazing system.
Yeah, but they don't know, but they don't know the chefs, and the chefs, don't really get a chance to be seen and heard. And I mean, they're interesting. A lot of the chefs around here, they're really interesting people. They've got really cool backgrounds. They didn't always cook. I mean, I know a couple of people that were professionals. They quit, they're just like, I don't like working at a bank or insurance company or whatever it was they were doing.
Oh yeah.
I love to cook. I love to make people happy, so that, that's just kind of the whole deal. And, by virtue of what Restaurant Week is, and this is the part I like, because I'm big, support local, and like I said, small business, is chain restaurants cannot participate just by virtue of what, Restaurant Week is, because basically if you go to, I know Steve Hammer and has Tom and She, and his partner's got Shiler's. Well, Tom and She, he said he would love to do Restaurant Week, and so did what's across the street, Cheddar's. But really? they can't change.
I was just going to make a Cheddar's joke.
No, they can't. They can't change their menu. They can't buy asparagus from some other supplier. They can't change the decorations in the building. They can't change their menu at all. Even specials have to come through corporate. So basically everybody that you're going to to the restaurant to support and to visit, it's all local. And then that gets back to I get off track when I talk about stuff that I'm passionate about or try to know a lot about. Right. So when you go to these restaurants, the whole point of Restaurant Week is all the restaurants are still going to have their normal menu. So if there's something that you like at DeLagy's, the ZD, or whatever it is, they still have their normal menu. But when you sit down, their staff should come up and say, "Hey, thanks for coming in. My name's such and such. I'll take care of you tonight. Right. We're participating in Evansville Restaurant Week. Here's our special menu." And so they give them that, and basically the dishes. Some restaurants choose a price fixed menu where, and I always use this, as an example, but people say, Madeline's, Kavanaugh's, I can't afford to eat there. It's too expensive. So they say, hey, you know what? Come in and you're going to get an appetizer, you're going to get a salad, and you're going to get an entree for $35. So you get the ambiance, you get the exposure to what the restaurant is, but you also get to try their food, and it's not. Because like Kavanaugh's, and it's great food, but it's not hard to spend $200 if you get drinks right. and a bottle of wine and whatever. You can spend easily. a couple $100, a couple $100 for a couple, or a couple $100 a person, depending on what you get. You start getting lobster and crab legs and whatever. Right. It's so some people say, well, I can't afford that, or that's just a one time a year special occasion thing, or whatever. Well, this is your chance to go and have something that's price fixed. You know exactly what it's going to cost, and it's the same. It's the type of menu where if you go out, Valentine's Day or New Year's Eve, they have 2 appetizers, 2 or 3 soups and salads, and 3 entrees, and you just pick, which one from each category, and it's the same price. Other restaurants like Cork and Cleaver, last year, we encouraged them to do something that they've never done. So as an example, Steve Bennett that owns a Cork, he's like, well, I don't really know what to do. And he says, well, I know. He says, I cook this chicken dish at home. My family loves it. He's like, I'm going to do that. And people went crazy over it, Yeah. And Rafi, Rafi participated last year. He's actually back this year. He told me he couldn't do it because of a wedding, and then he changed his mind. Nice. Because Rafi's is doing breakfast. They're going to start off on breakfast in September. Really? And it's crazy. I got a picture of his menu, and he's like, don't put that online yet. But I mean, the menu is, I'm not kidding you, it's like IHOP. I mean, I'm like, Rafi, I said, there's too much on here. I mean, there's like 50 things. I said, your lunch and dinner menu didn't have this on it. And he's like, your breakfast is going to have, but it's like American breakfast. There's pork chops, there's, pancakes and waffles and all kind of stuff. And the lady that's cooking, her and her husband used to be at Cleaver's. And so one of the managers at Cleaver's ended up opening Nellie's in Newburgh. Oh, okay. And they went, and she's working for Rafi, so she's cooking breakfast there. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Rafi, he was like, well, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. And he and I sat down. I said, you know what? I said, everybody misses your Italian dishes from Burkhart Road, from Rafi's on Burkhart. Right, I said, why don't you, instead of doing something Middle Eastern, why don't you offer Italian? Yeah, there you go. And and people loved it. I mean, that was like I got more compliments about his menu than almost anybody else's, because they're like, oh my gosh, I miss this. I miss the stuffed ravioli and all that. And he did it for lunch and dinner, and people loved it. So, that's the thing is you'll either have a price fixed menu for some places, or you'll go someplace and try something that they've never done before. Right. And all that'll be online too. I mean, as we get these menus, we'll post what everybody's doing, so you can go and kind of preview it and see if, what sounds good. And also, like I said, check, because Sauced, Madeline's, some of these places are closed Sundays and Mondays. So you say, ooh, we better go here Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, whatever. Right.
Definitely some new people this year. Yeah. Because they weren't here yet last year at this time.
Well, yeah, and some of it, and not to be, well, it's not really morose or anything like that, but some places went out of business.
No, it happens.
And and that it was really disappointing, because NW Chop House, he was excited to, and he had said he was going to do Restaurant Week back in March, and he closed. Pinch of Sugar, which was over by my old shop on Royal Avenue. That was like one of my favorite places in town for cupcakes and, just kind of creative cakes and whatnot. She closed. Eclipse was a participant last year. They went out of business. And so we lost a couple of restaurants just because they closed. But yeah, there's a couple that didn't come back that we would have liked. Hickory Pit Barbecue had an awesome menu last year, and the owner actually cooked everything on that menu herself, and they're one of the ones that sold out almost every night or got within one dish of selling out. We'd like to have Kavanaugh's back. Can Pie is not participating again or this year. Raffy's is back. Yeah, I've got a list. I'll go through who it is because
I was just looking at like Lombardi's is there.
Yeah,
sure they weren't in Evansville at that point.
Yeah, they were not. And that's kind of the neat thing is that we've gotten a couple of new places, and we'll just talk about it as we go through the list, and it's alphabetical. So Acropolis, so Doros is back. He was staple of 16 and 17.
Absolutely.
They're participating. Angelo's on Main Street and Little Angelo's in Newburgh.
Very excited.
This one, Azteca, and I don't even know if you've been here yet.
I have not been there yet.
Okay, I haven't either, honestly.
I've heard good things. I've seen pictures. It looks great.
Yeah.
But I haven't been there yet.
It's kind of funny because last year, La Camperana was in Washington Square Mall, and now they've moved to Burkhart, and Azteca took their place in Washington Square Mall.
It's like an incubator.
Yeah, but again, and this is, we had a conversation off mic about this, but pizza is not pizza all over.
Right.
Chinese food, there are 7 different regions of China, and every single one of them has a completely different style, different ingredients, different ways that they cook. And same thing, Mexican food is not Mexican food. There are different regions and styles, and Azteca is Central Mexican, whereas La Camperana it's more like street food.
Right. Delicious.
Oh my God, yeah. But it's more like what people would cook in their, in their homes or whatnot. So Acropolis, Angelo's, Azteca, Big Bang Mongolian Grill.
Which first year for them. I still haven't been over to Big Bang yet. Charlie's is so much closer to me. Than Big Bang, but I still haven't been over there. I've heard that it's pretty amazing though over there. Like
it's good. And I'm a weird person about buffets, and it's a little bit reminiscent of a buffet, but the food's not cooked, so you actually pick out raw. So it's a little bit different twist on it. But they have really good food, and you can pile. It's
as high as you can go.
Yeah, you can act like you're a contractor and
exactly.
And see how high you can
see
pile your food.
I did see Charlie get onto somebody once because of the way they stack something.
Oh, seriously? He wasn't doing it right?
Yeah, they weren't.
Or didn't put their sauce on at the right time?
Well, they were stacking opposite, and they thought they were smart, and he's like, it actually doesn't cook the right way if you do it that way. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, it was funny.
Yeah. Big Bang is first year participant. Brewburger,
that's got to be first year.
They weren't. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right? Yeah, they weren't even open.
Yeah, they weren't.
Carne Asada, which Bubbles and David Yarborough, they do freaking ridiculous barbecue, smoked, not wet. Not wet sauce, but smoked. And I wanted them last year, and they're participating this year.
Nice.
Charlie's Mongolian, which goes along with Big Bang, father and son. Cork and Cleaver's back. Actually, Dapper Pig, and we were excited because I wanted Amy.
Yeah,
I wanted Amy last year, and things didn't work out to where they could do it. But Dapper Pig is in.
Sweet.
Well, and Lamasco's, we got out of order, but Dapper Pig and Lamasco's are both doing it.
Oh, nice.
DeLagy's, that we talked about a little bit. And I wanted them last year, and they didn't work out. And this year they're in. And
it's my Evansville list of shame. I still have not been.
Oh my God! You have to go there tonight.
It makes me.
I don't care if your wife went to the grocery. I don't care. Just go to DeLagy's. And I'm not kidding you. I love. And see, I'm bad about some of this because I get what I really, really like, and I don't try a lot of the other stuff. But I mean, if you go to DeLagy's, personally, I think the staples, and actually Taste Tuesday, if you look at my page, just Brian Buxton, I've got it on there, or my food page, which is Fingers, Fork, Knife, and Spoon, or it's on a ton of pages, but Gretchen Irons, 44 News, we just did a Taste Tuesday at DeLagy's, and it came out, I think it came out today.
Oh, okay.
Or yesterday. I'm sorry. Yesterday was Tuesday. This is Wednesday. Yeah. Came out yesterday, so you can go watch that. But I love, they have a great filet with angel hair pasta and just olive oil and butter. The ziti is
outrageous.
What I keep hearing about. But it's a sweet sauce, so it's going to be different from what anybody's used to. I love the clams and linguine. And they have a really good Caesar salad if you like anchovies, and they put full whole anchovies on it. They're really, really good though. And they've got the traditional, Caesar dressing that they do correctly, because a lot of places don't make it quite right.
Sure.
And they've got, God, what else? I'd have to look at a menu, but I mean, they just, their spaghetti meatballs is really good.
I'm saying I'm right. I'm not ever going. I'm just saying.
Oh my God. No, you need to go.
It's a list of shame for sure.
Go tonight.
And to be fair,
seriously,
I do the grocery shopping.
Oh my God. All right. There you go. Well, I don't care if you went to the grocery. Let it wait till tomorrow.
Right.
But yeah, they've got, just it's a varied menu. Mm-hmm. But they've got a banquet room, and they've got a ton of space for parties and whatnot. Franklin Street Pizza Factory, first year. We've had a lot of new restaurants and a lot of firsts. And you've been there, I'm sure. And and same thing, we were talking about pizza's not pizza, because we've got in Indiana we've got thick crust, thin crust, tavern style. Pangea has Detroit style pizza now. The weird thing about Franklin Street Pizza Factory, it's sort of like a cracker crust. It's like a saltine almost, just in the texture and the consistency and whatnot. But it's really, really good. Yeah. But it's really thin crust pizza. We have Gangnam. Joe Kim is a buddy of mine. Yeah. He was with Ninki, left to do his own thing, opened up Gangnam Korean cuisine in Owensboro, and now he's got one on Main Street. So he is participating, and actually his wife is cooking. We'll get to that later, but his wife is one of the chefs for the VIP dinner.
All right.
And she's authentic Korean. And
there the other day. We brought
ridiculous.
People were out of town. We took them over there. It was awesome.
No, and I've known Joe since high school, and I told him if something ever happens to him, I'm going to marry his wife and not feel bad about it. She's such a good cook, and she's so sweet, Sarah. So Gangnam Korean cuisine on Main Street. Gerst House is in, which we wanted one or two or three of the Sportsman's, Gerst, and Smitty's, or like the Three Sisters. So Gerst House is in, and just Rennie's, Doug Rennie's back.
Nice.
And he's not really a restaurant. It's more of a, I don't even know what you call them. It's not a deli either, but it's
like lunchtime foodish.
Yeah. They don't have dinner. They close, I think, at 3 or 4, but, and I don't know if you've been in Evansville a long time?
Enough.
Do you remember a la carte?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you remember a la carte or Maxine's, it's exactly like that. Maxine's, so you can go in and get pasta salad. You can get tomatoes and cucumbers, or you can get 3 or 4 different types of chicken salad or tuna salad or whatever. And instead of putting it on a sandwich, you just eat it, with a fork. And they have grapes and fruit and whatever. So but I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You can sit outside there, but it's fantastic food. And of course, his cookies and his desserts are outrageously good.
The cookies.
And I've got his menu. I can't. Gretchen Irons and I have an agreement that any news is broken first by her.
Look, we do not want to anger Gretchen Irons.
I don't want the wrath.
So I am not a part of any kind of wrath there.
I'll probably get a phone. She'll be in Korea. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't.
She'll probably call me Collect.
She'll call me Sense came out.
Just call me Collect from Korea and yell at me. But I do have their menu, and he actually did a really really neat thing, and it's cheap too. He's losing money on his menu. He's got to be, but La Camperana, we were just talking about them. They are participating. So good. Have you been over there lately?
I did, just a couple weeks ago maybe.
The expansion though, you saw that, the ice cream bar and the pops they're doing.
So
my God, yeah.
It's like I walked in, I was like, oh, this is good. More seating. There's always way too many people.
Which is
in there. So
that's a good thing. But
how sad for him. But
Lamasco Bar and Grill we mentioned. Lombardi's, we were talking about that, which was in Henderson last year at the time. So now he's over where. What was there before? Salad World. It's the new Schnucks down by the day school on North Green River Road. So he's kind of in that area. And if you don't know that he's there, it's a little bit hard to find. But they have great. They have great wings. They have great pizza, and he does a lot of other stuff too.
Pizza there's not a whole lot like that around here.
It's the New York style. It's a New York style. It's a gigantic piece. So you got to fold over a couple of times.
So good.
So Lombardi's is in. Madeline's is back, and their patio, fish pond, liquor. Ridiculous amount of wine in their wine cellar. Fantastic food. Menu changes
they have
weekly.
A good bourbon selection, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know that it's the biggest in the state, but they've got a lot. Bad. They have a lot.
Yeah. Now, which between the two, Fidel's and Madeline's, where would you say the more of the bourbon is? Is it still Madeline's? Because there was a lot at Fidel's.
Yeah, Fidel's has over 100. They actually might be more than that. They may be up to like 115 or 20 of just bourbon, not
just bourbon.
Not liquor bottles, but just bourbon.
That was.
I don't know. That's really tough because, and here's the thing: is that Madeline's, and they redid their bar. and reorganized and everything. And there's so much on their bar, but there's so much that's not bourbon. I mean, they have a lot of scotch, they have a lot of tequilas, they have a lot of vodka and gins and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. It's
either way.
I'd probably nod towards Fidel's. I really would. Yeah. As far as the, but Madeline's has. And here's the difference too, is that, and Fidel's has got some very, very good quality, expensive, but Madeline's has the Pappy Van Winkle and Elmer T. Lee, and Tim just found some different stuff from a supplier that he's got in, and it's $50 an ounce and whatnot. It's expensive. Well, see, some of these bottles, that's the thing is, like Pappy Van Winkle. I mean, on the shelf it's $110 bottle of bourbon, but on the secondary market, not the black market, but the secondary market, it's a $1,500, $2,000 bottle of bourbon. So it's expensive.
Yeah.
But it's also rare. It's like hen's teeth too. Pangea, Juan Penn McDonald, fantastic Thai chef, Randy Hobson that used to work at, what was he? He was at Bristol Myers. Or no, he was at Berry Plastics when they went public. And then he decided he wanted to open a restaurant, and it's...
So Pangea's pistachio pizza.
Yeah.
Is that like the best pizza?
No. Yeah, no, it's not. No? Well, it's not. I'm not saying that because it's not good. It's just their margarita is really good.
They used to have Buffalina, and they stopped carrying that one.
Yeah,
that was like my favorite one.
And see, it's the same thing with when I go there. Like I was saying about the Leggies, I get the same thing. I always have to get the Trinity meatball. I always have to get one of her noodle bowls. Juan Penn's Thai noodle bowls, and one of the pizzas. But so they separate it into white and red.
Yep.
And so it's a really traditional, style. But I like the margarita. The pistachio is really, really good. What I have last time too, I had something with sopressata and some other,
right. There's some like a spicy
cured,
thing on there, right?
Cured meats, and and it had that at a meeting. We did ITV went there and had a planning meeting. For an event, we had that, and it was really, really good. But
like I'm allergic to nuts, not like in a death way, but just allergic.
So you just take
but I will still
you'll still eat it.
A bite of that pizza that my wife gets it every time. So it's like
I think it's fantastic.
I mean, I'll eat it until my back starts hurting,
or you can't breathe and turn blue.
There's that.
Then you quit.
No, it's fine. That's fine.
And so they've got gelato, and they've got they're doing Detroit style pizza now too, which I
had that last time I was in there.
So do you like that?
Because
I go to Detroit quite a bit. I was just there last weekend, and I never get Detroit style pizza in Detroit. I think it's strange, and it's not. And I'm not saying don't try it. I'm not saying it tastes bad. It's made backwards.
It is made backwards.
It's like lasagna.
No problem with it.
Almost. So it's really strange, and because the sauce on a pizza usually goes on first, it goes on last, and it's layered so thick and cooked in a pan that it reminds me of lasagna.
Yeah, the flavor was really good.
Oh yeah,
I did not care for the sauce on top like that.
Yeah, it's just and it's not that it even makes it taste different or whatever. It's just like
my brain was like, nope.
Yeah, it's like something's not right with that.
Right.
But I mean, everybody should try it because like I said,
absolutely try it.
And
it's pretty good.
St. Louis style pizza has to do with the sauce, and
which is terrible.
And there's you don't like St. Louis style pizza?
I don't. I think the cheese is the problem when I have.
No, it's the cheese. That's what it is. It's
Provel cheese. Yeah, it's like the worst cheese in the world.
Well, next to Kraft Velveeta.
Well, I don't even know at that point.
Anything wrapped in plastic is not. Yeah, no, it's the cheese.
It's the Provel cheese. Pizza. Yeah, because it's some sort of weird mix of provolone and burnt hair or something. I don't know.
But no, everybody should try the Detroit style. And some people, and it's the same thing. Chicago pizza, I can't stand Chicago pizza. I'm not if I go out to dinner, I don't eat the bread. I don't eat breadsticks. If I've got a steak. Bread. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's like if I have a steak or a plate of spaghetti or a great piece of salmon or something in front of me, I don't want to fill up on bread. I want to fill up on,
and since you brought up Chicago style, I feel like it's like stewed tomatoes and cornbred.
Yeah, almost. It's just too much.
I'm out. Just give me a New York style and we're good.
Yeah, and holy crap, it takes 45 minutes to cook it, and you're sitting there. And last time I was in Chicago, I was starving to death.
Some people are very angry with us right now because those Chicago style pizza people are insane.
Oh yeah, they're fanatical.
You know what? You're just wrong. But you're wrong.
Yeah, I like the Midwest style. I mean, I'm a big Toroni's, Rock Bar, Deerhead.
Toroni's great.
Thin crust, the slice. We were talking about Eric Weber and the slice. I'm a big fan of that. Franklin, and actually, I like Franklin Street Pizza Factory too. I didn't think I was going to like it when I went to try it. I was like, cracker crust.
Recently become a fan of Spanky's on the West Side.
Well, and Hetty's. I mean, the chicken blah blah is everybody's jam on that. But so Pangea is in Raffy's Oasis Cafe, and we were just talking about Raffy offering breakfast. In September he's going to start. Sauced Scott Shimmick. We actually just filmed the Taste Tuesday there, and it's kind of funny because Gretchen and I, when we go out, we always get a ton of food, and the camera guy eats some, we eat some during filming and after. And DeLagy's and Sauced are the only two places we have ever gone where there was nothing to take home. I mean, it was ridiculous. And then we actually had a salad brought out after we ate all the food. Had a salad after the meal, and then we had spumoni on top of that. So it was like, hey, bring us some of that. And we've never done that either. We've never, because they basically cook, when we go to and shoot those, they say, hey, what represents your restaurant? Bring us 2-3 dishes, whatever. Yeah. And they'll do that. And we've never, ever ordered anything. Said, hey, could we have a house salad? Right.
It's quite a racket you guys have going in Gretchen.
Interesting, yeah.
Kind of mad that I didn't think about that.
Yeah, well, and see the bad part though is I feel bad too is that we do, when we shoot those, we do, it's a real shoot. We don't, we're not paid to do it, and we can't pay for our food. Right. So it's one of those things, but we're honest, and we're saying, hey, we're going to say it's good, it's bad, we like it, don't like it, whatever. But we are honest about it. But it is kind of nice, to go in and just have them bring you some food. But they get a lot of exposure too, so it's cheap. What they're serving you it doesn't cost them a whole lot. Where are we? Sauced.
Stockwell.
Oh yeah, Sauced Scott Shimmick.
Sauced. I mean, the cannellonis. Holy moly.
Yeah. Yeah. And see that's the neat thing though, is that there's quite a few Italian restaurants in town, and everybody's different. Everybody's different, because Scott, he's got the red and the white, he's got the Alfredo with the fried chicken, and then he's got the meatball with the spaghetti with red sauce on the same dish. And he has some really neat off the wall stuff. And one of the things he did that I just loved for Restaurant Week last year, he did a smoked trout beggar's purse. And a beggar's purse is basically made up of crepes. It's a crepe. It's like a pancake. Okay, sure. And I love crepes, and I'm trying to get everybody in town to have crepes on their breakfast menu or as a dessert. But there's a certain, you have to cook it a certain way. And it's really thin, light, and fluffy, but it's sort of like a pancake. And he put like almost like a pureed smoked trout inside this, and then tied it together with an onion, like a long, of course, like a wild onion. Yeah, so good though. It was ridiculous. So Sauced is back in, and he's going to do a really neat thing. He's also cooking at the VIP dinner. Sweet. Stockwell Inn is the first year, and they are actually introducing. I can tell you this because we already shot Taste Tuesday, but and we talked about it.
Don't get mad, Gretchen.
Yeah, no, don't get mad, Gretchen. They are introducing pizza, tavern style pizza, and strombolis. They've never had either of those on the menu, so that's going to be a new item they're doing. Plus, it's going to be part of their Restaurant Week menu. That's pretty good. And they've got brain sandwiches too. I don't know if you like that, but I have one about once or twice a year. They've got a really, really, really good one.
I've never had one.
White onion, pickle, and a lot of mustard. And not to hide the flavor, it just complements the, Sure. And when people get weird about it, it's like, because there was a Thrillist, I think, said that the grossest or most disgusting dishes in each state, and a brain sandwich, was on it. I even made a post about it because one of them was, I'd have to find it. And I may look it up just to talk about it after we finish this, but it was something else. It was ridiculous. It's like, why is this gross? It's like, this is the best dish ever, and it's not anything strange. It's not
probably
like a brain sandwich.
Deep fried Pop-Tart at the fall festival. Yeah, it's the grossest thing I've seen.
But I mean, brain, it has the consistency of scrambled eggs. It's not mushy or whatever, but I think everybody, and it's a disappearing dish because there's basically in St. Louis there are 2 places where you can get a brain sandwich. In Ohio, there's only 2 places, and in Evansville, there's 2 plus the fall festival. Right. And basically, it started where it was a dish for the poor parts of the cities, factory workers, whatnot, and it became really popular where a city had a big meat packing district. which is why I'm surprised they're not in Louisville, because Louisville's meatpacking district's huge. But they do have a brain sandwich. Pizza Stromboli is the new deal at Stockwell. Walton's International Comfort Food is back. And everybody knows about their varied, interesting menu.
Yes.
They have
you guys one of everything.
Alligator,
right?
crawfish. Oh yeah, they have a lot of different really cool stuff. And again, talking about pizza, they've got the brick oven, wood fired pizza that cooks in like 3 minutes, and they've got really off the wall different kind of flavors and ingredients that you can throw on there.
Be like more of the gourmet style pizzas, right?
I think I'd probably put it in with what Pangea does, and probably maybe the slice, Eric Weber's place on Lincoln Avenue. But they don't go so far as to have taco pizza and potato, like where you got a sliced potato on it, And so what else? Walton's Western Ribeye, and Joe Notter, my partners in Restaurant Week are Joe Notter and his dad Randy, who do Evansville events.
We're ducking us tonight.
Yeah, I know. Where are you guys?
They're on my list now.
Hey, I sent them a text, and I said, "Be here, or you're not cool anymore." And I guess they're not
clearly
cool. Yeah,
not cool anymore.
But yeah, Western.
To be fair, Randy had so far to go.
That's true.
He lives like half a block from here. Anyways,
he could ride a unicycle if he knows how.
That's very weird and true.
Yeah. Western Ribeye, Salad Bar, which Cork is also really well known for, but Salad Bar, and they do steaks, obviously, and ribs. So actually their chef is cooking in the VIP dinner as well. So then their first time,
they've been around. It's one of those places.
It's like 70 something years.
Yeah. And we talked about that. I think Josh mentioned this on the Pizza Quest episodes, but it's like Taroni's, where someone's been around long enough where you kind of take them for granted. Yeah. And I think the Western Ribeye and ribs would definitely fall into that, where maybe you just they've been around long enough that you don't think about it, but when you go there, you're like, oh yeah, this is great.
Well, and one thing too is location. They're in a strange location. It's and they've been there for a long time. Yeah. But if you think about Evansville and where, just if you name
the way
we can play a game and you can name a restaurant, and I can tell you 5 restaurants that exist around it. And Western Ribeye, literally, they're out by Rule King.
Yeah, you're like Long John's
on what is
Bakey,
it?
Right?
Bakey and Morgan. So basically the only thing that's anywhere near them that's a restaurant is on the other end across from Swander. I want to say Nisbet, and that's not what it is, because that's way on the west side. Kipley's, yeah. The only restaurant that's close to them in any capacity literally is Taco Bell on 41 and Kipley's. But everybody else, if you got Franklin Street restaurants, there's tons of other restaurants around Haney's Corner, Main Street, Green River Road, Burkhart. It's, there's areas where they all kind of, come together. And they're sort of off the beaten path a little bit, and you may not think about it, but yeah, they do have good steaks. And then one of my favorites is Yang's Shabu Shabu, and that's one of the. Tell me you've been there, please.
I'm going to disappoint you yet again.
God. So you're going to DeLegge's and Yang's both this week. No, this place it's just really different, and I think it's cool. And see, here's one, and I think we've talked about this before too. If you guys go back, I might actually post the podcast from last year, but just for the heck of it today, because it's on on this day on Facebook. But so see, one of the things I love about food is the history, and I don't think the DeLegge's video, I don't think it made it, because I was talking about it after the fact, and Gretchen couldn't work the audio in with the video. But one of the first mentions of pasta was like in the 1400s, and the first mention of marinara sauce on spaghetti was the 1600s.
Yeah.
And so food, there's, sushi originally was a Chinese dish. It was a way for people to take food with them and have a like a sandwich, basically like peanut butter and jelly sandwich that we do in America. They were doing sushi, but it was a Chinese dish. It wasn't Japanese tradition originally. And so shabu shabu, it's a method of cooking where it's a hot pot style. And Genghis Khan, and I actually did a thing about this. I wrote a big article about him when I went and all that. Genghis Khan actually fed his troops, which was the 1100s, the Mongols. The Mongol army, which just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago. It's crazy.
It's been a while.
But it's that style, and they had big boiling pots of broth, and they would throw meat and vegetables and whatever they could find in there, deer, rabbit, whatever, and cook it that way, and then just everybody, it's like a big stew almost, or burgoo or whatnot.
Sure.
And so it's got such a history to it, but it's Asian. It's an Asian style. And, people like to go and they have really off the wall menu items like tripe and stomach and tongue and whatnot, but they have regular stuff like shrimp and just real thinly sliced beef and, chicken and whatnot. So you cook all that yourself in your own personal little pot. And it's one of those, what do you call it? Where it's a metal pot. And when you put it on the burner, God, it's on the tip of my tongue. I know what I want to say. When you put it on the burner, it boils water, but when you touch it, it's cold.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I'll think of it.
Yeah.
But you can buy that stuff for your home kitchen.
Right.
But it's neat. So you actually make your own broth, and you can have it spicy or chicken based or beef based or, whatnot, and cook it yourself. Mm-hmm. And noodles, rice, whatever you want. It's just really, really neat. And the food's really fresh and it's really good. But they also, if you don't want to have that experience and you just want somebody to bring you food that's done,
right, yeah.
They have traditional Chinese. And they have these ribs that are absolutely ridiculous that you have got to get. And they have fantastic hot and sour squid and some other stuff that's just really, really good. So that is the list. The VIP dinner chefs, we have Doros Hajisava from Acropolis, and I think he's going to do octopus. Sarah Kim from Gangnam, who is a true, authentic Korean from Korea. Joe married
North
her.
Or south?
I think it's north. I don't know. No, he met her over there when he was in med school or something, I think. Doug Rennie from Just Rennie's Catering and Cookie Company, Steve Williams from Western Ribeye, Craig Nelson. Actually, this is kind of the Wes Rose is the chef at Dapper Pig, but he's got a wedding. I think his sister's wedding, so he's actually collaborating with the sous chef Craig Nelson, and Craig is the one that's going to cook. Okay. And then we've got Sauced Scott Shimmick from Sauced. We have Tim Mills from Walton's and Madeline's, and that is our 7.
Man.
And
it's not a bad list.
Not at all. And U.S. Foods, our sponsors. U.S. Foods is the event food sponsor.
What does U.S. Foods do, really?
They are, it's just basically a food distribution company for restaurants.
Sure. Okay.
Individuals cannot buy food from U.S. Foods, but they supply all the restaurants with everything that they want.
Yeah,
ketchup and fish and chicken and whatever.
Okay. I got you.
Carson's Brewery is our event beer sponsor. Mr. Sandless, that's actually what Randy does for his day job, is Sandless floor refinishing. So he's a sponsor. My page, Fingers, Fork, Knife, and Spoon, which is the food and dining page that I do. 44 News, Gretchen Irons is our media partner. Simplex Grinnell, and they were with us last year. They do fire extinguishers. Okay. And fire suppression, hoods, things like that for restaurants. Very important. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a requirement by the health department. But they do, and that's the thing too, is they do individual stuff, and I'll just throw something out for them and as a public safety announcement, get your fire extinguishers checked, because I just had to do that for my new shop when we moved, and they actually do that for businesses and individuals. You're supposed to have them checked and tested every 3 years.
Absolutely something I would never remember. So
it's just one of those things. But I mean, it's cheap. It's and basically if you need it, you want it to work. Yeah. Right. So get your fire extinguishers checked at Simplex Grinnell. Yeah. Wine Vault, Tony Justak, they do truffles, which are one of my favorite things. They have gifts, they have corkscrews, they have wine-related gifts, glasses.
Sure, yeah. The VIP is September 10th.
Yes.
And then the restaurant weeks is September 11th through the 24th.
The 24th, yeah. Some restaurants, like we said, they're only going to have a 1-week menu. Some of them are going to have 2.
Yeah. So check the restaurants.
Yes.
If you're going there for that, make sure you check the restaurants. And the Facebook page will be where menus will be posted. If people want tickets for the VIP, still go to the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Tickets are on sale right now.
Right now, and then until they're sold out. And then once they're out, they're out.
So. Yeah, we're going to limit it to 150. Yeah. So
don't dilly-dally.
That's right.
Don't be a normal Evansville.
Yeah, and then complain because there's no tickets. Or complain because you can buy them on the black market. I don't think we're going to have black market tickets, but on the secondary market for $300 a piece.
Right, yeah.
Why are these so expensive? It's like, why didn't you buy them from Ticketmaster before? Mm-hmm. And no, our tickets are not on Ticketmaster, but I'm just using that as an example of concerts.
I'm buying them all up and I'm putting them on StubHub.
Hey, so that's fine.
whatever.
Go ahead.
Whatever
We get our money.
You're like, I don't care.
Yeah, we get our money. That's fine. Not a big deal.
Do what you got to do.
Bring all your friends.
There you go.
But yeah, so that is Evansville Restaurant Week 2017.
Good job, everybody.